It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. Tambourine solo!
Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Brad Gibson. I'm an acoustic solo musician, and if you're anything like me, maybe you've had some times where you've struggled to keep your crowd engaged. So what I want to do today is take some time to give you 3 tips that I've learned on how to keep your crowd enthused. So tip number 1 is pretty straightforward. It's honestly just building a rapport with the audience. What I like to do is, depending on where I'm at, and it could be a pub, it could be a bar, a private event, whatever the case may be, I like to make sure I announce what I'm doing, who I am, what they're going to expect from my performance. So I typically say something like, my name is Brad Gibson, I play songs from the 90s, 2000s, some modern country thrown in. If you know any of these songs and you know the choruses, please help me sing along, let's have some fun. I also like to make sure that I look out into the audience and make sure that people are kind of watching, and I make eye contact with people. And then what I try to do is essentially make eye contact throughout the show with anybody. It kind of builds that connection. It makes it feel a bit more intimate for the people that are there. And then sometimes I'll even call out like, hey, did you like that? I heard you singing, I saw you singing, all that kind of good stuff. But I think it builds that relationship and that bond between you and the audience. And that's regardless of the event type, whether again, it's a pub, a brewery, winery, whatever the case may be. The other important thing to do is give the audience a chance to engage with you. So when you're up there, take a second to actually call out, hey, is anybody celebrating anything today? Birthdays, anniversaries, retirement, anybody just happy that it's summer? Something like that. I think it gets the crowd riled up. My daughter, she at my wedding went, can I get a huh yeah on a microphone? So ever since then, I've kind of thrown that in where I thought it was appropriate. If we're having fun, can I get a huh yeah? And people usually respond back.
It's your birthday, right?
19th birthday!
19th birthday. Should we sing happy birthday again? Yeah, okay. You guys ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sydney. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
Tip number 2 is about your set list. I think it's very important to remember that your goal is to be an entertainer. You want to bring an experience to people, and you want the venues to understand that you're there and you're helping support them by keeping people engaged, keeping people sitting at their tables a little bit longer, buying food and drinks because they want to stick around to hear the music. So I think with your set list, it's very important that you have songs in there that are generally well known. Everybody loves the opportunity to sing along. Songs like Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, Unwell by Matchbox 20, they're kind of universal, right? And I think if you want me to give a list of the songs that I use for my 3-hour sets, I can provide that to you. But ultimately, I think you need to make sure that you're choosing songs that are very well known. For the most part, if you're doing covers. If you're doing your own original music, and that's what your whole gig is about, then by all means have at it. But if you're there to entertain a crowd and you want to keep people coming back to see you, I highly recommend that your set list is of songs and covers that are generally well known. And again, I think it's important too, because when people do sing back, you're creating an experience for those people. They're there, they're enjoying themselves. It's something that they can take home and that's memorable. They can tell their friends, hey, this guy went up there and he was singing I'll Be by Edwin McCain, and that was a banger of a song back in my time. And man, did I just age myself? Anyways, they sang along to it. A lot of people sing along to it, and that's kind of going to be what helps you to get recurring gigs at these places, because you create an atmosphere and you create an experience more than just getting up there and delivering your art. Now, there's nothing wrong with delivering your own art. I want to make sure that's abundantly clear. In fact, I highly recommend that you infuse some of your own originals, if you have them, into your set list. But in order to be somebody that is called back, in order to create an experience that's enjoyable for the majority of the people that are there, please make sure that your set list is filled with songs that people typically know. So the third tip to getting the crowd engaged is to be semi-predictable. You want to make sure that you are consistent. You want to make sure that you're there on time, you're doing your sound check, you're in tune. You want to make sure that your overall delivery of your performance sounds professional. That means making sure that you do vocal warm-ups. As crazy as that may sound, make sure that you're hydrated, make sure that you've done some practice, make sure that your guitar is consistently tuned. Before you actually start your set, you should make sure that that guitar is tuned. When you travel to the gig, make sure that it's tuned there, open it up, let it acclimatize when you get there. I would always give myself at least 25 to 30 minutes upon arrival for the setup. You don't want the crowd to be sitting there, and if you started at 7 o'clock or you're supposed to start at 7 o'clock, you're still doing your own sound check or you're still doing your own setup by 7:05. You want to make sure that you're locked in, dialed in, because then the crowd is going to get what they're expecting. And that's a huge part of it. You don't want your reputation to be one of somebody who's unprofessional. And that doesn't just translate to the engagement of the crowd, that also translates to your future bookings. When you're at a venue and a place is looking at you and you're showing up 5 minutes late, or you're not starting until 10 minutes after you're supposed to start, people remember that. It's a bad look. It impacts your reputation. Ultimately, this is a professionalism. We are out there trying to provide an experience and trying to support the venues that are gracious enough to bring us into their area to support their business. That's why I always think as well, it's important to make sure you do a shout out here and there for the venue that's brought you in. And if you can, remember that you're kind of marketing for them too, right? You have an opportunity to support their business. So for example, if you're at a pub and there's a special and people are there having their food, shout it out on the microphone, say, hey guys, have you tried the special today? It's the fish and chips, it's amazing. I highly recommend you try the fish and chips. Anyways, here's Wonderwall. Something like that. But those little things, those little steps that you take to be professional, they translate. The crowd feels it. You have a reputation and a look around you as somebody who knows what they're doing. You're getting up there and people are expecting to see a performance and a well-delivered show. So being professional and actually delivering on what you say you're going to deliver is critical. The audience will be engaged. They'll sense it. They'll feel that you're there with a purpose, and they'll want to give their energy back to you because you're not somebody who's wasting their time. So there's my 3 tips. So tip number 1 is about building the rapport, calling out to the audience, making eye contact, making sure that they're aware of what they're going to be getting and expecting. Tip number 2 is about your set list. Choose songs that everybody will know for the most part. If you have originals, like I said, go ahead and slide them in here and there, but stick to the stuff that people are going to sing along to. That's where people are going to actually remember you because you brought an experience. And I highly, highly, highly recommend tap into that nostalgia. If you hit songs that people grew up with, they're going to want to sing along. You're bringing that vibe that maybe they haven't had in a while, right? Especially with modern music. They want to hear what they grew up on. And there's a lot of really good songs from the 90s and 2000s that you can give to people. And the third tip is about professionalism. Make sure that when you show up, people see that you're a professional. They see that you're there with a purpose. They see that you know what you're doing and you're not wasting their time. They are there to experience something. They're there to have a good time. Your job is to deliver a very good performance, music that they can sing along to, and walk away at the end of the night feeling like they had a really good time. You're the energy bringer. So make sure you bring that energy.